with us. We're going to continue to dance with them. Dreaming them. Calling them. Seeing them. We are becoming what we were.
It is part of that Mayan prophecies.
7 triangles of light.
Keep walking. You are the spirit of Unapu. Keep walking. We the human, we are doing the spirit of Unapu.
People who say that the gods made them from corn. They planned their lives according to the heavens. Well versed in astronomy, using a sophisticated mathematics, they calculated the movements of the night sky thousands of years into the past and thousands of years into the future. They knew that the universe moved in cycles. Their lives were ruled by the rhythms of the natural world, planting and harvesting, birth and death, just as the great tree of life emerges from the earth.
Always they're connected. Science and religion.
In dreams, we learn from the Maya gods when to plant and when to harvest, when to set the fire, and when to do the corn ceremony.
What we're digging up, what we're coming up with is part of our history. And the men that lived here are some of the greatest men we've ever had. And it's the fact that we're getting to know more and more and more about the life of these people.
They still maintain their customs. They still maintain their ways of organizing their societies. And it's very exciting to see how much of the ancient Maya way of life is still alive as well.
Because American history does not begin in 1492 with Columbus. It begins in 200 BC with the first Maya king who wrote his name on a stone. What is happening now is the people who made these places, people like Yashpak or Bird Jaguar or Pakal, are getting back their voices. They are becoming real to us and speaking to the people of the 20th century about who built this place and why and what they felt and what they thought about the world. These are not anonymous people anymore.
You are the spirit of Unapu. Keep walking. We the human, we are doing the spirit of Unapu.
Aho, Mateo, Donansin, Donatu, LA natives, welcome once again. I saw something on the table that I need to fix, so I'm gonna do that real quick.
Yes.
How you doing, Mondo?
I'm doing fantastic. Welcome back, LA natives. I really appreciate all the support. It's been an extremely productive week for me so far. How about you, Zero?
Man, it's been grinding. Really lit, like not only with like my Marinali superfood business, but just family life and just life in general. But yeah, it's been good, but that's the way it should be, because the challenges are just there to make you stronger and wiser and make better decisions. And as you could see, the relationship that's growing between the International Indigenous Hip Hop Awards, it like blossomed into something that we're really honored to be a part of. And whatever capacity that we can serve our native community in whichever way, we understand all roads. We understand that some people are out to be a corporation.
Yes.
Some people are out to heal their community. Some people are out to say whatever comes on their mind. And you know what? We accept it all because we're all one community. We're all one family, no matter how many times they tear us apart.
Exactly. Man, last week's interview with David Strickland was amazing, Zero. I was actually peeping it, listening to it a couple of days ago, and man, he was dropping a lot of gems.
I mean, the amount of history that brother's been involved with, or just on the simple road of like industry hip hop, where where you're trying to be someone who sells merchandise and records for a living. That Brothers Road has been tremendous, successful. And I know it comes with ups and downs because all things come with that. So shout out to David. Thank you for giving us your time, sharing your knowledge, and thinking of LA natives.
And our Wednesday discussions is growing.
Yeah, when we started it, I was kind of like, okay, well, maybe the community will have these questions, but I think the community is just looking for answers, and they gather. But I want to encourage them to do research this week and be involved in that chat, because those chats really help people. They give them inspiration. I mean, me and Armando host this show, but you guys are your own inspiration. Just like when you look into a mirror, if you don't see happiness, if you don't see yourself in a good way, then there's lots of things to work on. And that's what it's about in our community, looking ourselves in the mirror. And so when we bring artists like David, Artson, Taboo, and now Drezus, I mean, we're a very, very lucky podcast to just say, hey, one day let's do a podcast, and now all of a sudden, army of warrior indigenous artists are stepping up to the plate, saying, "I want to be heard. I want to be heard." And us as LA natives are to provide that platform for you in whichever way we can, with a good heart and in a good way.
I want to remind everyone that's tuning in to like this video, share it, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and support. Visit our website, subscribe there. That allows us to avoid social media and keep it grassroots, word of mouth. This is quite possibly the only indigenous hip hop podcast out there. Zero, I always ask the audience, right? Hey, look, let us know if there's any other podcast that provides the substance that we provide, and we would love to promote them, right, Zero?
Absolutely. I mean, in anything you have strategies, so just don't take us out of that category, because we are trying to create something that is viable for our community, that we're not, just trying to be popular, clout chase or whatever they call that, because that's not what this podcast is about, man. This podcast is about healing. That's why we bring the best artists onto our podcast, because they have a unique story. They have something to say, and they make records, and they invest their money into making those videos, and they depend on your support. So I just want to say one thing, Armando. LA natives, bro, they show up, bro. Even if it's just a few of you. You know who bought stuff from my IG page, and you know who bought the stuff from our website. And even if it was just 2 or 3 of you, just know that hit right here the heart, because people are believing in our medicine. We're starting to dance the ghost dance. We're starting to heal our community, and they can't stop us. You know what I mean? That's why we bring the powerful artists like Drezus, right?
Yes, sir. And let's go ahead and bring him in.
What up?
Hey. What's happening, fam? Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you fine, brother. Look, when I get to see an artist of your caliber, I get a little emotional, because we survived genocide, brother.
No doubt.
And you're still repping it 500 years later. When they took us from our homes, and they took us from our grannies, here you are with your long hair, repping the community. How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm doing good, man. I'm feeling blessed. I'm feeling grateful to be here. I appreciate you guys for reaching out first and foremost. Feeling good though, man.
And thank you for accepting the invite. And this is our 13th episode, and it just seems like it's just getting better and better. And with having an artist like yourself on our podcast, it's just, we're so humbled, right, Zero?
Absolutely. I mean, we didn't expect people of your caliber, of your I don't know, I guess influence, to respond to a small podcast from Los Angeles. But this podcast has heart, brother, and it's not like we're small because we haven't really put together the puzzles. I mean, I've been doing music and I toured Canada to Mexico. So it's like Armando gave me this idea, and it's like, hey, what up with the LA natives, like Taboo? And, he started naming off everybody. And some people that I didn't even know, like, to be honest, I didn't know you, but then I hear your music. I'm like, where the hell have I been? And this brother's like hot. This brother's like, he's destined to be a star because of the intention that comes out of your music, my brother. Talk about that.
Yeah, man. I mean, first of all, my name is Drezus. I'm Anishinaabe and Nehio. That means you might have heard of Ojibwe. You might have heard of Cree. So I'm Ojibwe and Cree, and I come from the prairies up north in Canada, bro. Desolate, man. It's literally right now. I live near the mountains in Calgary, Alberta, but it's minus 30 right now, fam. Right now, so we cold out here, but definitely we need to keep that heat. We need to keep that fire burning. So
well, that's definitely your music. That's definitely your music, bro.
I appreciate you, bro. Appreciate that.
No, that's not even. I'm not even trying to just because you're. I try to create a podcast where I'm honest. Like if I don't know your music, I'm gonna say it. If I don't like your music, I'm gonna try to say it in a good way.
Yeah.
We're all artists, but the truth is the truth, bro. You have fire.
Appreciate that, man.
And I can understand how you can live in 30 degree below because you're hot. You know what I mean? You're hot, and as you're explaining your region, as we discussed on LA Natives, that I close my eyes and I just start listening to where you're from, fam. And I wish I was there with you. You know what I mean? Maybe sharing a little bit of cacao. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You definitely need you a big ass Parker, bro.
I've never been in that kind of weather, so I can imagine. Like
you might need me to give you a little hug or something, man. I don't know, man. I'm just playing with you.
I've been in cold weather, but not that cold weather. But I'm glad that you described your region, and how is it out there? So what's it like for all the natives out there? How are you trying to inspire your community?
So where I'm living at right now is actually Treaty 7 territory, which is home of the Blackfoot people, the Stony Nakota people, and the Tsuut'ina people.
Yeah.
So we're right at the foothills of the mountains, basically. So like I can get to the Rocky Mountains in like 30 minutes. It's like nothing but glaciers and just pure beauty. You know what I mean? That's why I feel so blessed to be living here right now, and that's kind of why we're here, is because, I'm at a spot with a major airport, and then we got the mountains, which is like 45 minutes away. So if we want to cut and get some real time relaxation, I should say.
Yeah.
And like taking that real energy from the earth, it's just right there.
Nice.
But the city where I'm in is like 1 million plus, so it's not that small, it's not that big, but it's just good. But like where I come from, like where I originally come from, is called Muskowgan, and it's in this place called Saskatchewan. It's another province right over. It's like what provinces are, so they're like states. It's the next one over, and over there is straight plains, man. Prairies, wheat, you know what I mean? You like there's nothing, dirt roads, and a lot of my people from that area have a very extensive residential school background.
Wow.
Whether it like for me, it goes all the way back to I would say great grandmother, my grandmother. My cookum is what I call a grandmother. My mushroom, which is my grandfather, they went there. My dad went there. My mother went there. I went there. So like, it's a whole different like energy. It's like, it's almost like that energy that we came up in was trying to like keep us from our true self and keep us from seeing our true selves in each other.
Wow.
And this is me now, but I didn't always see it like that, right? I used to see each other like, I used to be on that street bullshit, I'd see see this guy and think he's my enemy, not knowing we're the same tribe. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And I feel like those are like the
what's
results of residential school. You know what I mean?
What's interesting about that story, Drezus, is that you're explaining the same thing we deal with here on the streets of East Los Angeles. Is that, we're all from indigenous descent, and I'll go backwards. I'll go from what we are to what they call us, right? So we're indigenous descent, Mexican, Latino, whatever you want to call, whatever the colonizer wants to call us. But I know we're indigenous. And then when we go to another block and that brother has the eyes to kill me, and you have that same story from where you're coming from, it doesn't take a genius for our community to understand that this was here. How does that happen? It doesn't. So I understand. See, that's why I understand your pain. That's why when I hear your songs, I know what you're saying, because it's the same message.
Right.
They just they divide us with titles and this and that and BIA cards and blood quantum and this and that. And then we're all the same people because we're all suffering from the same illness.
Right.
The hatred of our own self.
Mm-hmm.
And you come with music that says, don't do that. I understand you came from, everybody starts at one point wanting to defend themselves. That's why they become gangsta, right?
Yeah, I feel you.
You know what I mean? Because we get punked. I mean, when we were little kids, growing up in that kind of a system where an older person punks you until you're able to defend yourself, and now you're perpetuating this myth that you're like this tough guy.
Yeah, I feel like you're just kind of like just trying to cover up what's really going on inside.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're pushing that fear out in different forms. I feel you.
Yeah, and we get distorted with that. So tell me about something you've written that helps our community deal with those type of issues. I mean, I know for a fact. One, I've been to Saskatchewan. Isn't that crazy? I've been there.
No doubt.
Some artist out there. She's pretty well known. Flew us out there, and I told this story on a podcast where Sugar Ray Leonard was like on the same plane to Saskatchewan.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
What?
so we get there, and I saw what you saw, and that was probably the coldest weather I've ever felt, which was only like 8 degrees. And I was, I was like, that's probably a summer's day for you.
Yo, I be in shorts in that, bro.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. But I did feel the vibe out there. I did feel the poverty. I did feel the lack of understanding. And when you describe a story of being in a generation of the boarding school, or that divisive institution that supposedly was teaching you to be civil, and then you describe nothing but dysfunction that comes out of it. Like, what type of dysfunction? What kind of hatred of the self do you face out there? What's the story of your life?
I mean, it's very similar to a lot of other indigenous people's stories out there across the world, man. It's the colonizer comes in, puts up the churches. Where I actually went to the last residential school open in Canada, and it was called Lebret. Actually, it's one of the last, like on that same year, of all of them closed down in 96, 97. And they would make us, like, on gym time, they would like run us up this hill, and I never realized it when I was going there, but afterwards I visited it, and it's just like this hill of crosses, right, that leads up to this like weird like house up top there. It's like a little chapel or something. But when I went back there, it hit me different, because although I grew up with my cookum praying to Jesus and to Creator, it hit me different to see it in that way. So it was more like haunting instead of like, oh yeah, this is memories. This is more like, it was more like, oh shit, what did I actually go through? Wow. You know what I mean? What really happened? Or what did they try to do? You know what I mean? But at the time when I went, it wasn't being run by the church, which was crazy because.
So it was more like the state. Tell them.
No, it was run by the actually the res nearby. So but they still hired like like teachers from the outside and administration staff from the outside. But the thing is that although like the church wasn't in there and the priests weren't in there all crazy doing all types of wild shit like back in the day, that energy and that oppression, that spirit still was there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was almost perpetuated by like our own people. It was almost ingrained into us so much that we did it to each other, like in the form of hazing rituals and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, like playing each other out and like, or fighting against each other. But of course it wasn't all bad going to residential school because all my natives are there too. So there's two different sides to it, right? The good part about it was, of course, the good part about it today is our community.
Right.
Having that sense of community is what kept us together, and I'm sure that helped a lot of those kids survive. But I know a lot of us carry that, and I'm in a place in my life right now where it's like I'm looking back now and I'm like, damn, that wasn't normal.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Absolutely. I gotta do something about that in here because I don't want my kids to deal with it, man.
Armando,
You know what I mean?
do you mind like looking up on Google what like a picture of an old residential school, like where they have the picture of the kids and the nurse and that. I want people in the community of LA natives to know what that looked like because, bro, what you're describing is like child abduction,
Right.
but twisted in a way that you're like, led to believe that it was like there's a picture usually on Google like of like hundreds of them just like lined up, but whatever one you find, I just want to get one like you should put in like that's a perfect one. But what you described, Drezus, was juvenile hall,
right,
in LA. We just weren't on a res. The whole experience you described, the hazing, the fighting, all that stuff happens in juvenile hall in LA because I don't know. I'm sure you know how the incarceration system happens. Is that it once you're incarcerated, you no longer have a gang. You are what you are, and you're kicking it here, or you're gonna get kicked it, or you're kicking it alone, which no protection happens. So see how am I describing something you probably experienced, right? And
the thing is nowadays it is today's jail and the child systems like the child services systems, child and family services, all those programs.
Yeah,
they're carrying out the same mandate, man, the same message.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, except this time around, Drezus, they have like nice little ads that are inclusive, that make things inclusive to everybody. So everybody gets a feeling. There you go. That's the one I was looking for, Armando. Take a look at that picture, guys. When Armando could get it back up to the screen. And feel the fear of children torn away from their parents and their grandmothers. And what they know as security at an age that is supposed to destroy you. It's supposed to destroy you psychologically. But here we got Drezus, right? We got Drezus who said, yeah, I went through some shit. But I believe in myself. I believe in my grandma. Like I believe in whatever that message is that comes that says that you're native and that you're proud of it. Brother, in whatever capacity. I know we all don't agree on every single aspect because I'm a little bit more harsher and my blade's a little tighter when it comes to indigenous rights. You know what I mean? Because when you can be an indigenous individual and not name your tribe, how about that? How about not knowing where your land is? And understanding that every land you stand on is your land. Now that's more powerful for me. And that's the message that came to me. Right? No paperwork, no blood proof, just spirit and connection. That's what my first sweat leader told me. Just don't be worried about the white man's proof. Worry about your connection with the earth. Worry about 100%. Connecting when you're in ceremony. Worry about that. And everything else unfolds. And he was right. Look at my altar. Look at my family, Drezus. LA natives.
Bro, trust me, man.
No.
I relate to like I just want to tell you like when I seen LA natives, first of all, I thought about being a young kid, like, out here it was beat into us that we weren't shit, bro. Excuse my language. You know what I mean? Like it was beat into us, like whether it be not physically, it would be like visually, just like you know how it is, man. Down, you know how it is. And it's just like we looked outwards for like inspiration or for like love or for acceptance. And what did we have? Some kind of kids on the res. All they had was the movies, man. A VHS and a VHS player. You know what I mean? And there's Blood In, Blood Out or something, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So like we're like, yo, and we for the longest time we think that those guys on that movie are somebody completely different from us, like worlds away, right? Because they dress different or from where the palm trees are at. Absolutely. But we're going through the same shit. And then when I actually got to LA. Later on in my life, I connected with all these natives, these dope natives, man. And they were like, there were natives from Turtle Island. There's natives from down south. There's natives from all over the place, right? And I felt at home, bro. Like, and I spent quite a few months out there in 2017.
And
it was
bad, brother, because
just mobbing,
that's. People come to Los Angeles and they feel the hospitality of what our culture is, right? Our culture is very hospitable. Like you come over here and you vibe in a good vibe with us, you're gonna be a brother. Every time I see you, it's gonna be like celebrating. That's what LA is. So when we decided to make LA natives, I want to say everyone who comes a part of this program or this podcast or this message or this intention is going to be at home like that, like you just described, bro. So whenever you come and Armando puts together the shows and he got locked down the dopest venues here, you're on. You know what I mean? Because it takes years to get on the stage at the Roxy, right, Armando?
Yeah.
Or the Regent, or any of the venues that you got locked down. And here we got this humble brother saying, "Nah, man, fucking native indigenous hip hop is dope. What the fuck is people doing?" Right? Like, and so I'm gonna put those shows together, and I'm glad that you described that experience, bro. Because expect it even 100 times more. I want to facilitate that for you. And whoever your crew is, as long as they're respectful to the parameters of what our indigenous culture is and how we do things, of course, man, you're gonna be nothing. You're gonna be fed, you're gonna be entertained, and you're gonna have a home forever. And that's the point of LA Natives.
And out here, there's a huge underground hip hop community, right?
Yeah.
Zero, like
One, Roxy, Whiskey. I mean, those venues make careers. And we need to put our indigenous blood brothers, the ones that deserve it, the ones that grinded their ass off just to get to this place. Because this brother described a plane full of dirt. And he's like, made himself known. Big ups to you, my brother. Big ups. Much love, respect for Drezus. That's it. LA Native said it. You know what I mean?
Thank you, fam.
And how I always describe LA, Drezus to Zero, is like it's a concrete jungle out here, right?
Yeah,
compared to like the plains and the perspective that you're getting from where you're from. So it's just like I'm dying to go out there, chill with you, Drezus.
Yo, if you want to get a piece of like mind and you want to get get to know yourself and have to get to know yourself, get out here in the mountains, bro. Like it's like you have nowhere else to go, man. There's no some places you don't even have the cell phone connection, so it's like you don't even have the internet to go and express yourself. All you have is you. You know what I mean? To keep you safe, to keep you sane, to keep you if you're really out there like that, to keep you fed. You know what I mean? But it's a whole nother level. But for me, coming from that, going to LA was like, bzz, 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 like oh shit, like there's so much going on. It fed my my appetite for just action, man. I don't know,
definitely if you got the right doors open in Los Angeles right away, you can get it's not like you get to be famous here. You get to put together quality projects here. And there's a
True.
big difference. You being famous is a team, of people making phone calls, posting, all that stuff. So let's get it clear for all of you, because a lot of upcoming indigenous artists listen to us. So I just want to make it clear for you. But when you come to LA and someone can open the door to the Roxy for you, or open the door to the Roxy for you, that's like a red carpet, because I come from Los Angeles. It took 20 years to step onto that stage independently. Imagine.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
now
dope,
you got the Prince Lassalot over here with the keys to all the venues if we do it right and we do our promotions, and there's a business behind it. But the point is that we have access to that, and it's time to not wait for us to blow up. Let's just do it. You know what I mean? Just do it. Do the show. Fucking 50 people come, good. 100 people come, good. It doesn't matter, because you're expressing your truth. And that truth is exactly what we've been talking about, brother. The humility, the long journey, and our infinite growth.
Yeah. I want to ask you, Drezus, did you, off the bat, when you started your hip hop career, were your records leaning towards a lot of indigenous native topics or subject matter, or was it just like straight up raw hip hop? Or off top, did you automatically start with like indigenous hip hop projects?
I'm and like obviously like I've faced that like friction and that against the grain my whole life. So I think just me jumping in to hip hop, I'm indigenous, period. That goes without saying. But as far as like subject matter and topics and themes, I can remember my very first rap that I came up with. And it was like 2 bars or something like that. I actually, you know what? I'm lying. I don't remember how the structure was, but I remember some words in it. And I remember Cree Child and Freestyle and Meanwhile and shit and Juvenile or somewhere. You know what I mean? We're in there. So
nice.
My very first line to come out of my mouth, I was saying who I was, and I never knew it. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm a Cree Child, basically, because at that time I didn't really know about my Anishinaabe roots. But
that's the power of hip hop, right, Drezus?
Yeah.
Like, we're in a freestyle. Like I used to know my homie, he used to freestyle like just like on a drop of a dime, and he was like fire at that. But you asked him to write a verse, and it was kind of difficult. But in the freestyle, you're like saying things that are like internal, that you're just too fast to kind of doubt or question. So it doesn't surprise me that your road was going to be this road. Well, the first line he makes is one of his blood lineage that he was blessed to understand and know and connect to.
But that's the reason why I asked the question, Drezus, because as Zero knows, I'm a huge fan of indigenous hip hop, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then prior to that, I'm a huge fan of underground hip hop, like hip hop that's against the grain, right? So then when I stumble upon dope hip hop, and then to top it all off, it's indigenous with a message and substance and teachings. Like you guys are on a whole different planet when it comes to just comparing yourself to just a standard hip hop artist, let's say.
Yeah.
Right, Drezus? And to take that element and run with it, it just goes to show, bro, like, the influences there. I'm sure you get kids that go up to you and like, yo, dog, like you're a dope artist, but you're actually teaching me things.
Yeah, I get that a lot, man. I mean, I can go back to that real quick to answer that question about when I started to actually, if I came out the gate like that or not. So when I first started like expressing myself, when I first got onto a stage, when I first got onto a mic, was at a Jamaican after party, because I used to sneak into these places when I was a little teenager, and anywhere I could find a mic, party, whatever, I was into partying, and like I grabbed this mic when I was like 17 years old at this Jamaican spot. And they're all like, what? Kind of like the record stopped. Like, who the hell is this big native kid on the mic right now? Until I got on the mic. and Biggie was one of my like major influences. I could say from LA, Cypress Hill, Psycho Realm. Those guys are like super.
Wow, Psycho Realm, real?
Yeah, bro. Super,
go deep.
super,
You go deep with that one.
super influences. But anyways, I'm spitting, and then boom, like that's when I first caught my wave. Like seeing people like look at me like this to like starting to go like this, and oh shit, and then like this, and I'm like, okay, that's when I got my little spark. And at the time I was drinking, partying, robbing kids, doing all kinds of shit, and that's what I would rhyme about, selling dope. And my community didn't really take to it because that's not what they needed to hear. You know what I mean? We're just kind of like we were just at the bottom of the barrel. Some native guys talking some crime ish. You know, I don't know. It just I could be like selling myself short there, but I just know that I wasn't connected with my spirit just yet. You know what I mean? So it wasn't connecting with the audience. And I went through all kinds of stuff. You know, I caught charges. I caught trafficking charges in 07 that took me down, and that really changed my life, my perspective. Like going through all that, going through the system, going brushes with the system. I didn't actually end up doing a bid because I went to drug court and dealt with my drug situation. You know, and this has been a long journey, bro. So 2013 is the very first time I made a song that meant something to me, to my people, and about my people, and it's called Red Winter.
Oh,
wow!
You can lock us in jail and throw away the key.
Is
Take
that
away my rights, but ain't no stopping me.
Oh, keep
We've
going.
been quiet for too long. It's time to speak. We got to stand for something. You know what I mean? Like,
go on with that, bro. I haven't, personally, I haven't heard that song, but if you want to share your verse on that song, feel free to do it, man. Because I think people need to hear this stuff if you know it. Or
yeah. Let me. My skin red, I bleed red. I'm seeing red. I'm praying for my people out there who ain't seen it yet. His blood is cold. His living lies forever told by his ancestors 500 years ago. Yeah, I said it. Got my peoples getting restless, making money off of land, and we ain't even on the guest list. Shit, you know what I mean?
Good love.
It's been a long time.
But that's a powerful message, man, because you do, that story that you're telling me, bro, like being part of the system and making all those, those decisions molded you on who are you today. That's a heavy hip hop type of background. Like all the dope hip hop heads and dope hip hop artists had like, drug cases and moving dope and
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
But to go with the energy of what brother was doing, it's like that's what I want, Drezus. I don't want it to be a perfect verse, all rehearsed. Hey, brother, spit this. I want it to be spontaneous, like we're on the couch. Yeah. Like if we were kicking it over there, we'd be smoking a blunt, going, "Hey, what's up? Well, you can drop a verse. Let me see. Boom. And, I forgot it. It doesn't matter.
No, yeah. Nah,
I felt what you said. I was fucking bobbing my head. And
I wrote that 8 years ago too. So like, I'm not sure.
Can I spit one? Can I? It's like you inspire that. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to say. Is that your lyrics are powerful and even the number sequences and your releases and even the show. Think about it. Your first song that meant something to you for your people was 2013. What episode is this episode?
13. And I love Drezus' story, man, because it just reminds me of myself. When I was running the streets and trying to make a quick buck, and I'm talking trafficking and gun smuggling and almost being killed. But it made me who I am today. And as I reflect back, yes, I embarrassed my family in some cases because I was putting myself in danger. But as I look back in retrospect, like thank God it happened because I learned from it.
Well, those roads are look, if you come from a poor community, right? Any poor community, the first door and the million doors that are open are drugs. Hey, here you go. I'll front it to you. You just got to bring it back. Come on. Everybody goes through that road. And luckily, some people don't get caught. Understand and learn. And that's the point. That's why you're so powerful, Drezus, because you didn't keep perpetuating. You understood that, hey, wait a minute. Why is drugs and hurting my own community gonna make me rich when I could just be a complete profound artist that in time will evolve to the point of, people may be sharing your CDs 100 years from now if you say the right things. You know what I mean?
Right. You don't know that though. Like in that world though, that's the toughest part about it. Is that a lot of my homeboys are gone, man, because they weren't able to catch that. And I think that's why it's very important that we have these conversations, that so that we can maybe spark another youngin out there, their mind to lead in a different direction. You know what I mean? Because like it's the same way out here. Like it's not as crazy as LA, but we are losing lots of brothers to alcoholism, to gang violence, and I know it's all because we're lost. We've lost our way at some point. You know what I mean? Wow. So to be talking with you guys and to be able to connect on that level, like
I want to know about that.
It's natural.
I don't want to know. Don't get me wrong. I love your career. You're a very established artist, but I want to know the things that we as a community can inspire others to help that situation. Because I know for a fact, because once I found out my indigenous road, Uncle Ernie Longwalker, put me on the red road, I understood, and I went to reservations, and they deal with a little bit different issues where I think we're a little bit too, like in LA, you deal with so much, but when you start dealing with teenage suicide, and rampant meth use in a reservation, I flipped my lid. I went, what? This is what inspired LA natives. Mm-hmm. This is what inspired it. Because if we can get our brethren, our warrior clan, to contribute, and we take the tribute to these humble souls that are being led to, like, it's almost like when you talk about teenage suicide in Indian reservations and the rampant meth use in Indian reservations, it's like looking at buffalo run off the hill and just kill themselves just because the herd is going that way. No, you understand? Have you ever seen that picture where buffalo are just a herd of buffalo are just going?
It's called over. Buffalo jump, bro. My lady, she's Blackfeet, and this is her territory, right? And you go 2 hours south of here is this place called Head Smashed In Buffalo Jump. Oh no! And it's basically this cliff, right, where they would like run off dozens and dozens of buffalo.
I should have known that name, but
it's all good, bro. And then they'd run down to the bottom, after chasing them all off, and then finish them off or whatever, and do their thing and get their goods, right?
And that's what I'm saying is that colonizers understood our medicine. Our medicine was powerful, just like those buffalo, and they needed to figure out a way to make us run off this cliff, right? Mm-hmm. And that's the extreme poverty. I mean, some California natives might have it good. And the first question you get when you're told that you're native, hey, I'm native. Oh, how much money do you get from the government? Mm-hmm. Some people don't get nothing. No. They get a bad life.
Bro, we get $5 a year out here, man. $5 a year from the government, man. I haven't even went back and got my money like for the past I don't know how many years. I might have like $110 or something like that. I'm gonna be balling away.
For anyone who asks any native, do you get money? That's the story. Maybe $5. Maybe.
Okay, yeah. I don't know about the US, but Canada, we have this thing with the treaties. Oh, and it was a $5, like basically for saying, okay, you gave us your land, we're gonna give each of you $5 per year for the rest of time. So what the problem is with that is that was like 200 or whatever years ago, 100 something years ago, when $5 was like $100 or $1,000, right? You know what I mean? Yeah. And even though like money progressed and changed, that $5 stayed $5.
Wow. So it never adapted to inflation, huh?
No, man. No.
That's I'm glad you see. This is the type of stories that need to break the myth of indigenous people across Turtle Island, because we're not recognizing Canada borders, we're not recognizing U.S. borders, we're not recognizing any motherfucking colonizer. Excuse my language, I'm a little emotional today, but they built walls because they wanted to divide, and we're not recognizing that. So we're understanding that your region is struggling with that, and we want to make sure that we talk about. That's what I want to talk about, Drezus, and then we'll talk about your music, because your music's the light, at least the spark. That's what you don't need to be a big brother and invest all your time. You just need to be profound, strong, and connected to you, your ancestors, and your message. And I feel that that's what you're doing, brother.
Yeah, and like that's a perfect definition of being a product of your environment. You know, like Drezus has the influences that Taboo has. You know, that's
Absolutely.
how I feel.
Yeah.
You know, Taboo was just on here not too long ago, man, and just like it just, you know, guys like Drezus and yourself, Zero, and brothers like Azamali, right? Like you guys are all cut from a different cloth.
I mean, to
Taboo and Azamali are brothers too, man.
Yeah, see, you're hitting the heavyweights, Drezus, man. And then, like I said, brother, like, you know, your road is special, and I'm glad, dude. I'm really humbled that you're here, really, and sharing the truth about your community, because, you know, that's what we want to hear here on LA Needle.
And I peeped your latest visual with Snotty Nose Res Kids, like that was banger.
Whoa, big.
Yeah. Snotty Nose brought me out of my cave, bro, and they're like, they gave me this beat that was like, you know, like on some 2020 ish, and I'm like, what am I gonna do to this? I'm like, you know what? I ain't gonna try nothing, no extra, nothing. I'm just gonna get on that track and be me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And that's exactly what I do every time. And I feel like now I'm becoming to a place where I'm appreciating my roots a lot more, because my roots are in boom bap, like very like rich instrumentation boom bap, like the roots and that type of vibe. And that's where I wanna go. But along the way, I have fun, bro. Like on that track with Snotty Nose, I had fun, man. Call me Big Niche from the Creek. Wow. No, you really love me deep down. Snotty Nose, that my niche style. When I said Snotty Nose, that's my niche styles, that's my brothers-in-law, because I take them like my brothers-in-law, because we're both married to this game, you know what I mean, to this music game. And I don't know, it to me, I got so many different like angles and flows and messages going on in my head that I let it all out.
I think
that
so.
way I feel straight.
Right.
But you know, that's what's so great about, you know, you, Drezus, that you're a leader of how I call it the new school of what indigenous hip hop is, that wave, that culture, that genre of hip hop that, you know, and that's another topic that we could go on too. Like, you know, me and Zero, we always debate about the whole topic and the whole genre of indigenous hip hop, right? And in Drezus, you're one of the leaders of that pack. Absolutely. To be honest with you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's always levels and certain goals that people want to achieve, and luckily, you know, it doesn't have to be like, oh, that's all I rap about is this. You know, I know that individuals have different lives and different understandings and of life. You know, I personally chose to do ceremony, message, like a Karis One. I'm out to help my community. I don't care if anybody shows up. I'm gonna continue to write this until I'm
a big fan of Karis One too, bro.
That brother, we were supposed to do As Technical. There was a song called As Technical that Karis One, and that was right after we played the Roxy with him. And Fidel Rodriguez called me and told me, hey, Karis One wants to do this song with you. And then it starts to get into that, you know what I'm talking about, Drezus, the whole business, and then the manager, and then the this and the that. Yeah. And so when we sat down as a team and as El Vuh, we just said, look, let's just play it humble. Whenever they invite us to the studio, we'll go and we'll drop our verse and we'll be who we need to be. We're not trying to clout chase. I know who you are, Karis One. I know all that stuff. But during the 2012 movement in our mind and the shift of the galactic consciousness, we weren't focused on doing that thing. You know what I mean? We were still kind of look at the writings that are coming from our heart. You know, it's like connecting with the fire. 2012 is the big shift of indigenous consciousness. What message can we bring to that? So that was just our choice. What I'm trying to point out is that as a community, as LA natives, be expecting a song that people are going to be dancing and party. What Mike Bone had one, and everybody else,
yeah.
You know, we know Taboo is just.
I did a show with Mike Bone and them in Alaska one time. That's a whole nother story, man. It's funny.
Those guys are hilarious, bro.
Yeah, bro.
They're fucking funny.
So
They're
actually,
beautiful.
in the chat, you have a track with Azamali.
Yeah, I do. And I believe Two Fucking Savages, I believe they're called.
Wow.
Oh, no, not Two Fucking Savages. What am I calling? No, it's called Two Fucking Savages. Excuse my language.
No,
I definitely want to check out that track, Zero.
Well, is it on YouTube?
Yeah, yo. Speaking in the comments, I just homeboy's going off about. I just want to address this because I'm a real one.
Okay, yeah. The homie
Joaquin. He asked where I'm from, Anishinaabe. I'm from Cody First Nations, bro. Saskatchewan, Manitoba Saskatchewan, Manitoba border. Treaty 4. I'm also Cree, and my other bit of Anishinaabe is also from Muskowhegan. So Saskatchewan, bro. Where you from?
Ooh. That's right.
I think Joaquin's from like Michigan or something.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think, like I said, in this environment, we knew we were going to create an environment where I want people to understand that not everybody has this conscious agenda, right? I don't even have it. I don't even have that. It's just like when Drezus explained my first line, I said my thing. Well, my first line was about that, and it just never stopped. I just kept doing it and kept going deeper and deeper and deeper. And the creator blessed me with going to Mexico City, playing in front of 20,000 people, in front of the temples,
Wow.
The very thing that I talk about. I remember the great artist Rocco, who brought me there, said, I heard your words bouncing off the temple walls, right? And I was like, what more do I want? That's better than anything I can ever expect as an artist. And so I just kept writing. And so LA natives, there's going to be different people from different regions who have different messages. The point is to get to know them, understand them,
right?
Listen to them, relate as much as you can. If you don't agree, keep it moving.
And this is another reason why we formed LA Natives, because I fully am aware that hip hop is the most powerful voice right now, period, for the whole world.
Argentina,
you know, just in general, bro.
Period.
In general, hip hop is crippling the world, if you know what I mean, in a positive way.
Well, yeah, mostly positive. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, well, I mean, we all have like, dude, we in our community from East Los Angeles, we have Little Rob. We have our own little situations that we have to deal with. Not that they're like causing beef or anything like that. I'm just explaining their artistry. They are who they are. That's what they write about.
Yeah, of course.
Jesus writes about what he writes about. I write what I write about. And then you put it all together. Like, what would it be like, Drezus, if we went to a powwow or any kind of ceremony that your family puts up there and it's all the same? You know, the point of it is to have beautiful art. The point of it is to have dark art, white art, yellow art, green art. The point is to make art. And you could tell when Drezus, like, man, he's like, oh, watch, let me show you this verse. And look at it, he's busting his verses, he's busting his choruses with his hard work. And that's what we want to point out, LA natives. This is hard work. You make compromises. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. But we're one family. We're one community. If we thought that way, our children wouldn't have to suffer residential schools. Our children wouldn't have to suffer diabetes. Our children wouldn't have to suffer meth or suicide. This is all we're saying, right? Right, Drezus? Love yourself. Be who you are and come with it every time. And that sounds like what you do, brother. You come with it every time. And if you ever let me be on the same track as you, I will be completely honored I will come with all of my corazon and all of my medicine that I could possibly have. But hey, you know what? Do you have another verse in mind that you want to share with us here? You got one here.
I could do a little something. I could. Okay, I'm gonna take you through a little quick ride with my music then,
Absolutely.
and I'll share a verse that will spark it. Okay,
absolutely. Do that. That's what I want. That. Do what you
so,
got, brother.
So, like I was saying before, it was the darkness that led me to the light. So, in 2007, I caught the case, and then I didn't really get off of it until about 2013, the beginning of 2013, and that's when I wrote Red Winter. But in that meantime, I was going through all kinds of like ups and downs. I was selling dope up until about 2014, man. I ain't gonna lie. And I was trying to get out of it though, and getting out of the alcohol, I was doing all kinds of crazy ish.
Yeah.
And in 2010, I got locked up on a breach. My crew, I had a crew called Res Official. We were the first natives to get on this Much Music, which was like MTV out there. Much Music Rap City Top 10. We won it on #1 spot, right?
Congratulations.
Thank you. We were going to have a reunion show at the 2010 Olympics in Vancouver, but I got locked up 2 weeks before. And that changed me, man. That really hurt, man. I was like, "Okay, I'm fucking on my dreams, bro." And I watched it from like this little baby TV, right? And I remember thinking, I got to get out of this. So I ended up in this like getting out, but released to this like halfway house kind of rehab center. And I met this elder Anishinaabe elder who taught me my ways. And I just wanted to add that part in there because that was over 10 years ago now. And I learned this song called Talking with the Thunderbirds. And I sung it yesterday in ceremony. And that's another thing. I'm very like on the low about ceremony. I'm not out there posting, I'm going to ceremony or da-da-da. You know what I mean? But anyways,
but that's good that you said that here, because
no doubt
know that.
Because like
know that here.
Because I'm not with the like taking pictures and like announcing that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean, like glorifying it or
right,
like a badge of honor.
Or I don't know. I don't want to like. I don't need people to know that because that's for me and my family or for whatever it may be. But those are the things that made me who I am, and those are the things that gave me real like substance and real like voice when it came to making my music. And after that song Red Winter, I made the song called Warpath. You know what I mean? And Warpath, when I wrote that song, it was at a time when I was just starting to leave the life. I wasn't like gone. I was literally on the street still. I was still doing it, but my mind and my spirit were like ready to ascend from that life. And when I wrote Warpath, it was produced by my homeboy Tool Man from Tribe Called Red.
Oh wow!
It was like boom, 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 boom.
Those brothers are dope.
That beat was coming to my head, and this is it right here. First, you should know that I have risen through the fire in colorful buckskin. The object of my desire is the color of my skin, so divided on my kin. Watch me turn the tables till we eating like some kings in beautiful headdresses. The culture is so impressive. I'm just hoping I absorb it when he passing me the message. Baby, it's depressing living in this mess we call our home. We should take it back to chokers resting on the collarbone. Arrowheads ride along the enemy like styrofoam, piercing through the strongest armor, death in genocidal form, but still I stand. A singular red man with Jupiter-sized heart, forever repping my clan. The Eagles an old man, watching over my plans, talking real shit. Baby, no faking here for the fans. Shouting out Bobby Jones, my auntie, my Muslim George. I'm drawing all of my strength for my people here before me, man. You know what I mean? Then the hook comes in.
I saw that video. You had the teepee going. You had the teepee going.
Yeah, so
you were all painted out. I saw that video, brother.
That video got me like everywhere.
Nice.
Like
that's dope.
As far as like media outlets. Right. And I'm just like
I remember that video. I seen it.
Thank you, bro.
I don't mind saying that I was wrong. I do know your music. because I remember that video. I
I
remember.
know it's crazy because I get noticed from like people like in Texas or like middle of nowhere, like in like on the res, like in northern Canada, like yo,
right,
man, I love that. You know, and
dope one, brother.
You know who heard that song and fell in love with it is Taboo.
Nice.
So I was at Standing Rock in 2016 a couple of times, right? I camped out in September, and then I was there in December again. And that was another thing. I was on the low. I didn't go there as Drezus. I went there as Jeremiah, man. I went there just on the low, working to help, right? And I went back home. You know, went on some actions with the camp. Went back home. And Taboo hit me up. Was like, yo, hit me on the Instagram DM, and I'm like, what the fuck? Black Eyed Peas?
Yeah.
You know, I'm like,
nice.
What? Is this for real? You know, I did all the little homework and stuff, and it all checked out, obviously. And he's like, yo, I'm a big fan of yours. I love Warpath, and you wanted to make a song? And I'm like, fuck, bro, you know I want to make a song. Come on, man, stop playing. You know, and that's when we made Standing Rock with Meg 7. And then that's when I had my first official reason to go to LA, and I drove to LA 30 hours.
That's dope.
Amazing.
Damn.
Yeah,
That's like a
on the
story
studio.
I have a Standing Rock verse. I wrote a verse for Standing Rock, and I just didn't want to be like, oh, like here's my Standing Rock song, but I wrote a verse. If you guys want to hear out here it goes.
Bless.
This is sacred water, and water is life, a carrier of wisdom, our basic human rights. One more time. This is sacred water, and water is life, a carrier of wisdom, our basic human rights. Common sense will tell you to defend her to the end, but they have no hearts. They're just uniformed men who have no soul, just a fucking drone. They shut their fucking mouth and they do what they are told, while rich fat bankers sit and watch from home. Water protectors film you on your phone so they can all see all of your greed. Oh man, I forgot it, but anyways. I had that. We all mess up.
No. You took me right back to it, you know, to it when, like the paranoia that was going on at the camp, you know, when like our cell phone, like our bars on our cell phone would just go zoom out of nowhere, you know what I mean? Like
they were using like tactics there because the gathering was so powerful, and man, that's what I mean. Drezus is like, it's like you were blessed by the creator and all of your ancestor medicine to be with important people who have large voices in this community, in this world. And you were at Standing Rock in a humble way, you know, not for PR, because your people needed you there, and they needed your influence, and they needed you to go see what was there so that you can write powerful tracks like you do. And thank you for doing that in our community.
And for everyone that's tuning in, just make sure you guys, you know, follow Drezus, support his music, subscribe to his YouTube channel, cop his new merchandise, his new sweater, that dope ass sweater.
Yeah, the Thunderbird.
He got dope stuff. But
yeah, we started printing our own stuff. We got our own little printing thing going on. We're gonna be helping out other artists, helping out First Nations and tribes. So kind of get the colonizer middleman out the way, you know what I mean?
I think that's the new movement, Drezus, is to be as independent as possible and know that when you come to Los Angeles, you have a home, quality artist. I mean, I got a band that could play anything you want. Anything. They're like pros. These guys are like heavy hitters. You know, a lot of people don't know that Mamas and the Papas and all these very famous bands that came from the Los Angeles recording scene. We're all like just a group of musicians that just kept going from studio to studio. And I know those type of musicians, Drezus. So whenever you have an idea, brother, I'm telling you, I'm extending my humble gratitude for coming on LA Natives, sharing your story, and being the dude that you are, man, like really humble and non-apologetic and tough as nails, as I could see, you know, because of the love that was given to you. And you do remind me of Biggie, like, because like that's Biggie's whole thing is like, oh, I'm going back to the streets, you know, I'm not making money fast enough. And then next thing you know, you're getting popped and you're like, I'm missing the biggest thing I've ever ever dreamed of.
Right.
On a tiny little TV going. And now, but see, you're coming back like Rocky, bro. Trabu, Tribe Called Red.
And with
let me just add this in there, bro. In 2017, me and Taboo won best fight against the system in the MTV Video Music Awards, dog.
Oh, no way. Yeah.
So like the summer of 2017, I went back out to LA after like I was staying there. I stayed there for a good part of the first half of 2017. And then I went back out to Canada and he called me up. He's like, yo, Stand Up Standing Rock was just nominated, bro. And I'm like, what the fuck? Flipping out. Nice. We go down there, bro, man. I was rubbing shoulders with Kendrick Lamar and DJ Khaled.
You deserve it.
It was madness, bro. And so LA is like, I want to shout out real quick to like all my LA people, especially my homeboy Danny from Las Cafeteras. I think I said that right. I think I said it right.
Yeah, Cafeteras.
And my homeboys Spank and New, that Trap Kitchen. Come on, man. I got a lot of homies out there, bro.
Good.
And I can't wait to come back out and link up with you guys too.
Absolutely. Well, what we're preparing out here for the future, man. Armando, you want to talk about?
Yeah. I'm definitely going to be putting together some concerts for our community, for LA natives. I'm really in tune with doing a lot of concerts out here.
Armando says it so humbly, man. This dude's trying to do like some major
like
festival.
my last 2 shows. We actually had the last concert in the United States pre-COVID shutdown.
What?
The Griselda event. I booked Benny the Butcher and Conway the Machine. We sold out 2 nights at the Novo. Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah,
and prior to that, we did Conejo, we did Czarface, we did Rock Marciano. I'm just a heavy underground
I opened up
promoter.
for Conejo show at the Regent. That stage is dope, Drezus. We got to get on that stage.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm definitely in the forefront of putting shows together safely out here in Los Angeles. Once it's available for all of us.
That sounds beautiful, man.
But most importantly, man, like I really appreciate you embracing Los Angeles like that, man, because it is a concrete jungle out here, man. But it's a place of opportunity in LA, and
it's the best videographer, editor. Beaches. Come on, you get the scenery.
Food, man. The food, bro. We don't get none of that good food that you guys got. None of it, man. Like, come on, bro. I want some kind of salad fries or something, man. Like, come on, bro.
I love it, brother, man.
And for sure, Drezus, please let us know when you're in LA, because I have an office here in downtown Los Angeles. I would love to get you on my blog, Underground Hip Hop Blog. If you just type in Underground Hip Hop on Google, we're the #1 link worldwide.
Oh,
so we just run a pretty dope underground hip hop website, man, and for you to be part of LA Natives now, man, it just means a lot. And by the way, the International Indigenous Hip Hop Awards, I know you're involved in that, right?
Yeah. I'm doing a performance for that.
Dope. Yeah, we just got picked up as press, and love to those guys, right, Zero?
Yeah, absolutely, man. They're kind of doing the same thing that we're trying to do in their own way. And, when it's our chance to, I know we talked about doing Zoom stuff, and we're like, let's just save all of our talent for putting on because I know what you guys want, Drezus. Like, you don't want to come to LA and play like a dive bar, you know what I mean? Because it's not that easy to get these type of venues. But when we put our heads together and we use most of the connections and influences in Los Angeles that we know, and put together the right program, that's going to be probably the most successful.
And best believe, right, Zero? Like, every LA native fan out here in SoCal is going to come out to our shows.
Absolutely.
Best believe it.
And we're building it every Sunday, every Wednesday. So it's just bigger.
Yo, I just got to say, I be looking at my analytics, man. I have a lot of LA fans on there, bro.
Nice.
On my Spotify, on my YouTube, all over, bro. Like, I think we can make it happen out there. Trust me.
And that's whether we pack the house or not. I know Armando. This is what I love about Armando's approach to putting a show on, is that he doesn't give up. You know what I mean? Like, we'll be successful here, and 99.9% of the time there's a line out the door. But he knows if it isn't a line out the door, maybe it's half a line out the door, he's gonna still stay with it. He's still going to believe in that message because he knows the next time it's going to be it. And then the next time it's going to be you can't get in.
Right.
So you got to be on LA Natives IG, on our website. We hope that you buy some merch. Support Drezus. Drezus has his own independent autonomy going on in his community. And as you can see, he prints his own material. Am I correct? You're printing.
That's it, right here.
There you go. See, family, we got community. Don't go to the mall. Don't go to the mall. Back in the days, Drezus, when we wanted the hardcore hip hop when we were young, we used to go like to Melrose, bro, like in these like really small little fucking record places and find like, 93 to Infinity, fucking Track West, fucking all the dope shit. You had to go find it, because that. So, anyways, the point is, we're doing that here with LA Natives. We're that little record shop. Go cop that sweater, because no one's gonna have that sweater. No one's gonna have that sweater. You're gonna be repping in Los Angeles where everybody goes, no one else has this, right? You're gonna get it.
All right.
He's gonna provide it for you. I hope that you go and support this brother.
And again, thank you for accepting the invite, man. It means so much to us. We will have you back very, very, very soon. Once we get a little bigger, but trust us, man.
Let's go.
It's been an honor, right, Zero?
Absolutely, Drezus. Like, every time I meet a brother from that far away and comes from the climates that you come from, and you describe your region for our communities, I just close my eyes and picture I'm there with you, looking at the same thing, feeling the same thing.
You be like this though, little. You be, you know what I mean?
No, hey, but sometimes, as we walk into this indigenous path, at least for me, just so you could get a better sense of where my road came and how I understand life, is like, I understand that the cold is just a product of water. So if I'm water, then I can understand and can put myself in that place with you, because that's my goal, is to reach all the regions and tell them we're one family. We have the answer to our own oppression, and that's looking in the mirror and saying, I am worth living on this earth.
Hey.
Oh, right? We're in agreement, right there. Drezus, thank you for coming on LA Natives. We love you, brother. We hope that our relationship never ends from this point on, and that you continue to be the powerful, impactful individual for our natives. Oh,
brother. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you guys.
Again, I have to say, another wow interview.
Bro, like the conversation goes, so many cool places, and you get a little bit of like fight back, you get a little bit of like what I didn't know the Buffalo thing, like, and that's cool. I like that. I like being in a position where, I'm not all knowing, all seeing. I have little bit of indiscretions. I don't know all of my verses memorized. I mean, I messed up my water verse. I thought I was going to get that right, but
Olmeca made it clear to us that when we have interviews for LA Natives, it's not your cookie cutter interview, right, Zero? It's like,
I'm not Walter Cronkite.
It's like we're having dinner, having a great conversation about dope indigenous hip hop.
Absolutely, and profound things that happened in their life, because these type of artists got impacted in a certain way. Drezus talked about a generation of residential schools. Let me talk to you about residential schools, man. Residential schools are pretty much kidnap centers where they beat you, they take your name, they take your culture, they cut your hair, and then they meat grind you. And if you survive that, well, good for you. Here was the saying for residential schools: kill the native, save the man. That was their idea. Kill the native, save the man. So then when a brother from Canada explains his situation or his experience going generation after generation after generation into this hell, into this prison, into this indoctrination of accepting that you are worthless and you will always be worthless because you're not educated enough. You will never be educated enough because of the color of your skin. White supremacy. White supremacy. Manifest destiny. Right? Doctrine of discovery. This is the mentality. Don't ever get into a position where, oh, boarding schools were cool. Even if they're cool now, their intention, their root came from separating infants. From infancy to teenage, you're getting taken. And the whole foundation of your whole life is going to be rocked. But we got Drezus. And look at him, impactful artist. And hopefully we can inspire all of the other res kids that live. So here's a little bit of homework for all you LA natives. If you know people that live on the reservations, even the poorest reservations or the richest reservations, and you need to tell them about LA natives. You need to tell them about that, because we want to reach those people that are suffering from suicide. We want to reach those people that can't find the answer to drug addiction. This is where we have to put our work in, and then look around our own community and do the same. When we look around our own community and put our community first, not in a nationalistic way, in a humble way, in a healing way. You have to put what you love the most first. Even though sometimes it seems wrong. But learn the lessons from that experience.
I'm still getting chills on just interviewing Drezus right now, man, because I know how much of an impact he has made in the indigenous hip hop community. His story is impeccable. His story has its leadership.
Yeah, I mean, and humility. Like, look, he did a song with Azomatli, bro. Like, Azomatli is not taboo, but he's super talented, and he's able to recognize the talent. And just like we did, we knew what Azomatli does. I did, because I was in the studio with him, and so I didn't do a track with him, but still, I recorded him. I was engineering that session. So it's cool to see Drezus and all the type of connections he had. Even Los Angeles, like he was shouting out people from LA. That was kind of cool. And so his connections run deep. And that brother's a very well-established artist. And I don't see anything but success.
And for everyone tuning in, we have our Wednesdays discussions cracking every Wednesdays. That's definitely a dope forum that we have and we provide for the LA Natives community. Absolutely. And next week, if I'm not mistaken, we have Snotty Nose Res Kids.
Wow. Now that one's gonna be cool.
Yeah.
Those guys are like on, yeah, they're dope. Snotty Nose. What's up the chat? I see a lot of things going on there.
Shout out to Joaquin.
Shout
out to Hector. Shout out to Gaming with Cody.
Is Brandon there?
Brandon, yeah, Brandon's with us.
Shout out to Brandon.
He's
Shout
with
out
us tonight.
Joaquin. Shout out everybody that I can remember and everyone who loyally follows LA Natives. I want to say something real quick. You guys have been very generous with our merchandise and buying merchandise off my IG page at Zero El Vuh, and buying a few shirts, right, and a couple sweaters and things like that. So we just want to encourage you and just give you the props that we need to give you, because we know it's hard to go out there and spend your money, but we're asking you to think critically. That maybe that Nike that you're all into, maybe you can shoot it to LA Natives so we could continue with the podcast and do our thing. I'm not lobbying for us to go sell merch, but I'm just trying to point you, like, if you really feel connected with us, rep us. Just like you feel connected with Nike, like rep us like you rep Nike. That's all I'm asking.
And the same analogy goes towards, like, instead of going to Shoe City or going to JCPenney or going to Macy's, cop that Drezus sweater. Cop that
absolutely.
Richie's
That's what I mean.
indigenous 1492 bucket hat.
That's the community of LA Natives.
Go to Mike Bone's website and buy their merchandise.
Absolutely. This is what we have. A lot of talented designers. I mean, what's the name of the shoe guy? Do you remember his name? There's an indigenous brother who makes
his name is the Indigenous Designer.
There you go. The Indigenous Designer makes his own kind of basketball shoes, right?
Yes.
Like these tennies, right? Or sneakers.
That I would pay $300 for. Which is like, why am I going to give Kanye my $300 when I could go ahead and just, if I want, just buy the Indigenous designer shoe.
Well, I think because you're changing your perspective from
like instead of me purchasing that $40 Fila bucket hat, I would rather pay $30 for the indigenous 1492 bucket hat.
It's because you're changing your perspective to what actually is cool, not what is promoted to be cool, right? And the way they make it seem scarce is by putting a price tag on it, right? So just like Smorgasbord, they go, oh, look, I made this shirt and it's $150. But who is the only person that can walk in there and drop $150 on a plain shirt or $500 on some shoes that you never wear because they're too goddamn expensive? You don't come from that millionaire lifestyle. But if you get some dope designer that nobody ever heard of, who makes quality products that are sometimes even better than a design manufacturer by a corporation, you should try to be unique in that way. That's what we're changing perspectives, LA natives. Spend your money in a way that helps your own community. Not that it's going to solve the problem, but at least you know you're contributing to somebody who is in a native bodysuit.
Check it out, Zero. Check out that shoe right there.
Dope as hell. That shit is dope as fuck.
Why am I going to want to buy some Kanye's when I could cop those?
Yeah, because they look just as dope. They look just as dope as the ones that Kanye makes, you know? So go out there, go get that. Can you pull up Drezus' merch? Is that possible?
Yes, it is. Let me pull that up.
Because we have to show him love. Like, the brother just came on our show and just was a homie. Like, if we knew him for like 15 years, right? Like, he was just like, you know, I love brothers like that have been through stuff and they're just like tough as nails. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they just can't help being themselves. Holy smokes, Drezus, that is dope. That is fire. That you're gonna tell me you're gonna go buy a $85 Nike sweater and not be able to buy what Drezus is putting together for you? Look at that turquoise Thunderbird that you won't find on Are you gonna be able to find that on Melrose?
Nope.
Macy's?
Nope.
Foot Locker? See? Don't be a herd. Don't be a sheep. Don't go, oh yeah, this is cool because this artist is rocking Nikes and I got my Air Force Ones and blah, blah, blah. Be unique. And wait till we go to Mexico, right, Mondo? We're going to come back with some stuff that's just like unique to our community because we're changing our perspective. We're changing the way we spend our money. I know I do. I don't go out there and try to cop the newest design for what? So they can make another one and make the one I just bought obsolete. I mean, look at Richie's website. Look at how dope look at the shirts he makes. They make statements. These things make statements, right? Don't glorify the oppressor. What was the other one? Make America indigenous again. What's the first one on the? Oh man, I got that 1492. That one is fire. I can't wait to wear that one on LA Natives.
So for everyone tuning in, this is indigenous1492.com if you guys are interested. Quite possibly one of the dopest indigenous apparels collections out there.
I mean, he's from Los Angeles.
I love these bucket hats.
Dude, he's simple. Like, it's simple, but like dope. Like, I gotta wear that. Like Fila, right? Like that Fila logo or that Nike logo. It's not extravagant. It's just dope. And that's what. And see, now you got LA Natives. Look. We like sew a hunapku on the patch. And I mean, we're trying to bring you the same quality garment that you would find here on Smorgasbord. But for how much, Armando?
$30.
$30. So you get to get a high quality designed shirt. And instead of paying $100, you're paying what?
30.
$30.
Shout out to Drezus, man. Like, man,
Dope.
Much love.
Drezus.
Shout out to Indigenous 1492. He's in the chat.
Oh, no way. What up, Richie?
What up, Richie?
Richie. Inca Rich. I love that brother, man.
Well, look, it was an amazing episode. This is episode 13. We had a lot of engagement today.
Anybody want to say something on the chat?
Right. And keep in mind, come back this Wednesday. It's an open forum. Anyone that has questions about LA natives, questions they want to ask Zero. Let's go over a few podcast episodes that we've had prior. If you guys want to share or showcase some art, right, Zero? A poem.
Poem,
a verse,
painting, graffiti. Armando had a brilliant idea. He said, just set up a little set, be in front of a computer, and do your thing. Do your thing. However you set it up, we're gonna play it, right, Armando? We're not gonna okay, it is gonna be what it is, right? It's gonna be an open forum. So don't expect like seasoned MCs and stuff. That I just want to be clear. So I invite everybody who wants to share their message to us, because it's not just fair that we just on Sunday. I mean, on Sundays we interview established artists that have been grinding for what? How long has Drezus been grinding for? At least 15 years. Right. So, and then we have another platform that we're thinking about doing. We won't talk about it right now, but Wednesday is definitely the intro to that.
Yes, and we do have a comment in the chat. Is there an open line to call in on Wednesdays? We have that
for phone.
Too. Yeah, for phone. Yes,
yeah,
we have that too. We do prefer you getting on a laptop and putting some earphones on and joining us video chat, right?
Yeah, in person.
Join us this Wednesday, bro. Like
expression.
Email us and we'll send you the invite link, and you could be part of our Wednesday conversation.
Absolutely, because on Wednesdays we cut loose. Like, last Wednesday we started talking about the concept of time, right? And why do we follow a Roman perspective of time where midnight starts the new day, right? When every ancient culture either fluctuated from sunrise to sunset, and if you were on the sacred calendar, it went from 12 midnight, 6 a.m. and the time of day changed in certain positions of stars and certain counts that we had in our tonalama. So I'm just giving them a little preview of Wednesday. That's kind of the discussions we get into there. And so bring your A game, do your little research and do what you got to do to be a part of this discussion, because I can't be the only one going, oh man, I'm the one to do it. We need other people to be engaged. We need other people. You are the community. We just have the microphone.
And thank you, Gaming with Cody. He says PJ Vegas would be a dope artist to interview. He has the first native sound pack on Splice for all beat makers. That's pretty cool.
That's dope. So he's a producer.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to reach out to him. Thank you, Gaming with Cody. Subscribe to our channel. Please like the video and share this content to on your homies, man. I would really appreciate that.
Follow all of our social media platforms. I mean, I could stand here and be like a PBS commercial and say that, but if you're resonating with our vibe, with our demeanor, with our clothing, with our community members, which is Richie, who else is it? I just drew a blank on who else is Richie, Drezus.
There's always a seat right here for you, bro. Like if you want to come by on a Wednesday or on a Sunday, bro, we have seats right here, right, Zero?
Absolutely. Richie, come on, man. Just hit me up, dude. You know my number. I think you know my number. Or you know my IG for sure.
You'll be a dope special co-host.
IG.
Tell you that much.
Wait, let me do this something. Let's give you a preview of what will happen. Look, we're going to do it live. Look, Richie, shoot me a question. What would you ask on Wednesday? And we'll do a little 30-second answer. But what would you want me to talk about on Wednesday?
Open discussion.
Open discussion. We're going to give you a little preview. Richie, hit me with a question. Are you there? Knock, knock.
Yeah, he's definitely here with us. Man, this interview was amazing.
It was dope. It was fun. It was fun. I had fun. I was really... When you talk to any artist, you kind of don't know what to expect. I didn't know what to expect with David. I didn't know what to expect with Drezus or Taboo or anybody else that I've interviewed. I'm not really a host, but I'm digging it. I'm really loving it.
Now we just got invited to the International Indigenous Hip Hop Awards as like some sort of VIP red carpet interviewers and media guys. That's gonna be big for you, Zero, right?
That's gonna be fun. I can't wait. That's gonna be a very, very fun time. And look, after 2012, things shifted for our community. We're gonna get a voice, and we're gonna make that voice humble, and we're gonna have good intentions with that voice, and no one's gonna stop us because we have it. They haven't stopped us. It's been 500 years. We're saying the same thing. You're not gonna force us to be that way forever. Never, ever, 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 ever gonna be that way. We are profound mysteries. Every single one of us with indigenous lineage. We're powerful people when we can heal from our trauma. Anything else on the chat?
Yeah, Richie just responded to your question.
Oh, okay. So here's the preview of what could happen on Wednesday.
Well, he said we would like to hear about the prophecies of our people.
The prophecies of our people. So 500 years ago, there was a great Tlatoani named Cuauhtémoc. And he was to give a mandate to the people of Mexico at the time. And this brother was 19 years old. From what I understand, he was 19 years old. And he said that our sun had gone down. That for 500 years, we would be in a time of darkness. A time of confusion. The child will not recognize the parent. The parent won't recognize the grandpa. But it's okay, because everyone dies. You can't escape death. In the springtime, flowers come, and then they die. But one day, we will remember. And remember without anybody sitting us down and teaching us. That we would look one day to the earth and to the sun and remember those teachings of thousands of years ago. Because they're not in your brain. They're in your blood. And the reason why we treated women the way we needed to treat them, with love, respect, tenderness, because they carried that encoding in the blood. So when the baby gets born, that blood goes with it. The memory goes with it. And now the shift has happened. We pinpointed a time, 2012. Nothing happened. Nothing happened, Armando? Can we go eat at a restaurant right now? Like regular?
Nope.
Can we go to the bar like regular?
Nope.
Not that we do, but I'm just saying. Can we do anything like regular, like the movies?
Wow.
Sounds like a shift to me. See, when you know the long counts, when you understand the movements of our great Father, 365 days, 260 days within the 365 days, that's based off of the human body. I'll stop there. That's what happens on Wednesday. Okay? Did I answer your question, Rich? Let me know.
Join us this Wednesday, guys.
Give me a fire. Give me a fire if I did
Natives.
that.
I'm looking forward to everyone that's with us right now to come back with us Wednesday at
They want us to
6
keep
p.m.,
going,
right?
huh?
6 p.m.?
6 p.m.
6 p.m. Wednesdays. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Much respect. We're going to be tuning out right now. Any final words, Zero?
Look, shout out to Drezus. Shout out for painting a picture of your region for us here at LA Natives. Shout out for inspiring us that genocide is survivable all over Turtle Island. The traumas that you had to face, brother, and come out of and be as successful as you are, please remember the connection to the Creator. And we love you, and we'll see you soon. LA Natives, remember one thing. The shift happened. If you start to feel a yearning to know something about your past and you have no idea how to get there, Just go out for a nice walk. Look up at the trees. Look up at the birds. Feel the life around you. And ask your spirit to guide you back home. Because you don't need a map. You don't need a book. What you need is love that emanates from your source of life, which is your heart, that connects with your perspective, which is your brain. Stay strong, stay wise, stay fearless. We'll see you next time. LA Natives, Warrior Think Tank, Wednesdays. Tlasocamatli, Umeteo, Tonantzin, Tonatu, Mexicatiahue.